Hey guys, what's up? This is Rapid, and I am going to bring you a scrim tonight. It's going to be a very special scrim between members of Team Lzuruha, one of North America's top upcoming teams. Done some pretty good work, including beating TSM in the most recent Go for LoL monthly finals for March. And they will be going up against Team EHome. Now, if you guys know about EHome, it's probably because A, they competed in IM Guangzhou, and I believe they got second place. Now, Max is going to DC here, and that's pretty standard if you guys have watched EHome play. They play on not the most reliable internet connection, and so it's really hard for them to kind of keep all their people engaged. Now, they do have, Lzuruha has Max, knows that Max is DC'd. Actually, they don't, because they don't know that, you know, there's a 5-minute delay. But the thing to remember is that EHome is playing from China. They A, have a bad internet connection, B, playing with 200 to 300 ping, and they're still like ranked number 8 on the ranked 5v5 ladder. So I don't know how that's even humanly possible, but they don't actually have a mid right now. So that means that instead of jungling, it looks like either Olaf's gonna have to go mid, and it's gonna be mid versus Slushy. So Slushy's gonna be playing Bloodlord Vladimir, and Talandra's going top lane on Warwick. So that's going to be a huge difference, and actually Ted Stickles actually pulled that. I'm not sure why exactly that's the case, but Ted has to back way off as he did the break aggro there while Warwick tanked it. Warwick tanking, it's not that big a deal, but Ted Stickles definitely got kind of screwed up at the pull. So he's a little bit behind in his jungle. Looks like Max is back, and he's going to be able to take mid from China Annie. Now, Slushy's like, well, what, AP? But no, they're just lost Max, and when they know that he reconnected, they're going to be like, oh, okay, well, that's going to be a little bit of a disadvantage here for Max. But here's the deal. He's playing a really last-hit dependent champion, so if he can still do that through 300 ping, that's how you know you're hella good. I mean, these kids tear up the Chinese gaming arenas. I believe there's a couple of gaming arenas, which are kind of like circuits going around China. That's what they call the 10 penny gaming arena, or it's either 10 penny or 10 cent gaming arena. I don't remember exactly how it translates, but essentially it's like a Go for LoL, but it lasts forever and is nationwide and has thousands of teams in it. It's just huge, and they kind of dominate that. So if you guys are looking for some awesome Chinese League of Legends actions, I'll put a link down below to eHome's webpage. It's in Chinese, so you may not get a lot out of it, but it's still going to be a good portal for you to just get an idea about what's up as far as League of Legends is concerned. Now, top lane here, we're going to have a top lane Twisted Fate. Now, he's going AD, it looks like, and he doesn't actually have any AP, so that's going to be really interesting to see. I've never seen top lane Twisted Fate before, but we're about to find out how it works right now, because EHome is going to show us some magic. All right, so here's Tabariswu, and I don't know exactly how to pronounce that. That's just the way I've always said it in my head, so that's the way I'm going to go for it now. There's the gold card coming out. Lucky wants to go in there, but there's really not a whole lot that Talandra can do right now. He's just getting auto attacked from range. Sure, he can Q spam, and it looks like that's exactly what he's doing right there. He's going to try to last it to the best of his ability, unsure it, but Tabariswu doing a great job of just last hitting the wave and pushing it at the same time, getting tons of stun harassment. He has infinite sustain as far as mana is concerned, so looks like Lucky's in the jungle. And one of the things earlier on is that Ted Stickles running Lee Sin. He's like, why did they let me have Lee Sin? You know, they know it's my best champion, it's my best jungler. And it was a little bit because Lucky and Taz top lane are like, you know, we need a challenge. So apparently if you're 300 ping and you need a challenge, then you just let the other team have the best characters they can possibly offer. Now their ping's going down bottom lane. They go ahead and drop the CD, and Olaf knows exactly where Ted Stickles is. He drops the axe, but does not last at any of the creeps. He was trying to get the timing there on the red buff, but just a little bit of a delay. He's looking to go in onto Slushy's, try to wait for his axe. And as soon as Karthus lays down the wall, we're going to go in. There's the wall. Here comes in Olaf. He's going to run straight through the wall. Goes to exhaust. Are down. The slow is down as well. Olaf's going to get slowed. Did not actually pick up his axe. He ran back for the axe. He could have landed at max range for just a little extra damage. Not that that would have mattered a whole lot, but that is Devil Summoner's Burn in. And this is kind of something that you're going to see a lot from EHome. They have to commit 120% every single time. Like each time they have to commit more and more and more. And if it doesn't pay off, then it doesn't pay off. There's the Ignite, and there's going to be Lee Sin jumping onto Tabariswu. He's going to flash to get out. Dodge the Q. How do you dodge Qs with 300 ping? I don't know, but apparently this guy does. He escapes a Ted Stickles gank, and even Slushy coming up. He gets the ignite. Slushy's gonna go under turret, but he's gonna get an auto off, and that's Tabs picking up first blood. You get 3-man ganked top lane under your turret. Summoner's blown, and somehow you make it out alive. Teleport going top. There's the teleport in from Ashe, and he's gonna get autos off on Ted Stickles. Doesn't want to go under turret. It's too long. And who brings teleport on your AD carry? Who puts AD carry TF top lane? And I don't. Okay, you guys are watching this with me right now, so you're gonna have to help me analyze a little bit of this extra metagame later on. So maybe Twisted Fate top lane is just something I don't know about. Maybe this is EHome and they're just that freaking good. They're gonna take top tower at about 6 minutes and 20 seconds. And somebody's texting me, which means I'm so popular. Just kidding. Nobody actually does that. We got TS Lucky almost took down top lane. They're going to leave that for the minions just so that, you know, tower combined with, you know, their minions can deny as much as possible. I don't know why I just said their minions could don't even pay attention to that. All right, towers kill minions, less last hits, less experience. There you go. Oh my goodness, not my night. I just cast an 80-minute game that was 60 minutes of excitement, 20 minutes of absolutely nothing happening earlier on today. So bear with me just a little bit. We're gonna see the build here from Twisted Fate become evident. Goes back and picks up 2 speeds and Doran's blades. I don't understand how you lasted so effectively at 300 ping. But if you guys are wondering exactly what it's like, go ahead and if you're like on the West Coast, try playing on the EU server sometime. It's just that good. And if you guys can do it there, then apparently you guys are on the wrong team. Digester's actually playing bottom lane Urgot. That's a really interesting pick just because it's really harass heavy and it's really heavy on bulk. Like you could go Mana Moon, Frozen Heart. That's a really common build. No matter what some people like to say. EHome Lucky, it will take out the ward middle lane, and that's going to mean that the only ward for Lzuruha bottom lane is in the Tri-Brush, so lane ganks are going to be effective should Lzuruha push up enough. Lucky's going to be able to counter jungle raids. Ted Stickles is coming in. He could Q over the wall. Little does EHome Lucky know. He gets hit by the Q. You gotta know as Ted Stickles, you're expecting him to hit a wraith, but as Lucky, you're like, he does not want to pop his ult. It is available. Dodges the Q. No, it does hit. He pops his ult immediately. Slushy's trying to get in there, but Max putting a lot of pressure. Gets EHome Lucky out alive. I don't know why I'm saying EHome so much. Maybe it's just because it's in their tag and I'm reading the name, which as a commentator you should never ever do. You should know who the players are without reading their names. In fact, I think there's an option. I'm gonna go check for it here while nothing's happening. Let's see, interface. Let's see, damage heal. Experience level. You know what? I'm going to look for that later on just because if you can turn off player names and then cast with that, that's absolutely insane. If you can do that as a commentator, then more power to you. So Digester goes back. He's actually, there is the TF ult. Where is he going? He's going mid lane. He's going to try to get a gank here off on Slushy. He does not have sight. He just walks out of range. Oh my goodness, the arrow misses. I don't know. Like, that is the closest arrow I have ever seen that did not actually land. Tabs is getting really low here as it looks like he will finally go down. So, good guy Talandra lets Slushy pick up the kill. Slushy blew his ult for that, and did Talandra? Yeah, he did as well. So Slushy's wondering if there's a DC. There is actually no DC, as it looks to me like everybody's available. Nobody on the summoner platform. And they're just wondering, hey, what's going on here? Slushy and Ted Stickles, they have a lot of sustain right now, but not even a Wriggles here. This is going to be a 9-minute 30-second dragon. We will see EHome converge onto this. China Annie, who is actually their designated sub right now, is going to come in there. There goes the wall off. Tabs does, in fact, DC. And there he is going down, but a reset on the dragon, and this is going to mean that EHome actually might get this. No, it looks like Slushy's coming in here. Wants to chunk Lucky. Lucky is considered chunk. Who picks it up? EHome gets it. Bromacia is engaged. She is out of the way. And there comes in the last hitting from... Oh, this is so low. Every single member of EHome is incredibly low. China Annie, I don't know what's up with that. But Max takes down Digester. Excellent micro orbital positioning there by Digester. Janet does go down here, so Slushy is the one-man wrecking team. Getting healed there by Atomic. Lucky, TS, and the rest of EHome are just so low. And they did that with 4 people. They were literally 4 on 4, or 3 on 4. Yeah, no, 4 on 4 the whole time. and they came out with a kill, and they're only down by 1. So that's pretty significant. Everybody on their team is doing a really good job as far as like last hitting is concerned. You know, it's 58 bottom lane to Urgot's 81, so a little bit of a discrepancy in that department. I can imagine that's pretty rough, you know, doing all of the last hitting at such a high ping. But ping is not an excuse, guys, so I need to stop you know, harping on that. Tabs is going to get back in the game, and hopefully, well, anyways, they have played 4v5s before, and I think they've actually won a few of them, but definitely something unfortunate. They mostly just play these games for practice against, you know, top North American teams, so I guess that's, you know, props to Lzuruha for meeting that criterion that they have. Talandra's just going to push down top lane. It's kind of a an interesting conundrum, if you will. If your opponent DCs and you want to have a good game, why wouldn't you push, or would you not push an advantage that you actually have? Lucky's coming in here. He's a level lower than Talandra. He's trying to get as much true damage as possible off. It looks like Talandra is actually losing. There's so much minion damage. Look at that slow come off. He's actually going to pop his ult, but there comes off the ult from Lucky, getting out of there immediately. Axe could be landed. Here goes down the ult. Could Talandra actually sustain? No, he will. Yes, he will. He lives with under 100 health. About 50 health before he gets healed up there by his autos on the minions. And oh my goodness, 7 bonus damage, healing for an equal. Oh my goodness, there's the arrow that would have hit Warwick. That was supposed to hit during that fight, but just a few seconds behind. Oh my goodness, TS. Can you imagine what this guy does without ping? The slow is down from Digester. He could get the... Oh my goodness, he gets pushed forward into the turret by China, and he forces him to back out. I think he could have just gone all in and picked up a kill there. He's going to go even further, but TS has at least 2 shots left, and with a Janus shield, that would have been 3. Max is going to get his own blue buff, something Karthus, because of the double damage on the Q, are fully capable of picking up. Ted Stickles wants to be able to contest this. We're going to see who picks up the red buff. It is, in fact, Ted Stickles. Slushy is there just to escort him away. And yeah, Broloff wants no part of all of that. I wonder if they get the memes that Broloff says. It'd be pretty interesting to find out. I got Slushy running up there. It's actually doing a lot of damage to Lucky. Chunks him down to half health. So activates the spell vamp on his axes, throws it down through minion wave for a little bit of extra health. And right now, Max and Lucky are both low enough for Slushy to do a lot of damage. TS getting chunked once again, and he's just kind of playing so effectively. There goes down the explosive Acid Hunter. I was thinking of actually the hyperkinetic position reverser, but yeah, that's Acid Hunter into the wait, no, Acid Hunter's the missile. I was Noxian Corrosive Charge. I thought of Hex Tech instead of Noxian. I think they're kind of similar. I don't know exactly the lore on that, but if anyone wants to post the deep detailed lore down below, then go right ahead. Middle turrets, top turrets down for Lzuruha, or for EHome. Lzuruha taking that. Mid turret could go down at any point in time. Slushy's going to use the vision from the board. Tabarus Wu is back, and Slushy seems a lot of damage to Talandra, or to Max rather. Talandra welcomes back his laning partner as now Broloff can get out of there. Tabs is going to come back, and they don't actually get to try out the strategy they had in mind. I would really have loved to see exactly how effective top lane Twisted Fate is, as that was their strategy. It's kind of a little bit of a different strategy, running kind of a semi-global team, where you have a global ult from Ashe, you have you know, a global ult from Karthus, as well as one from Twisted Fate. Just not the stereotypical roles that you expect to have as champions in, especially as far as just Twisted Fate is concerned. You know, Karthus usually goes mid as a spot, but you don't usually have Karthus and Twisted Fate, so that's a little bit of a different take on the AoE meta. Now, EHome is only down by 2 kills, but as far as other things are down with TS. Oh my goodness, TS almost lived there, but Slushy diving turret could go down here. He's going to have to pull out, but really make it out. There comes the unpool, and there comes the cards coming out from the Twisted Fate. Max picks up the kill on Slushy. It looks like Ted Stickles and Atomic are going to get out alive, so they thankfully did just kind of sacrifice Slushy. They're like, you know what, I'm gonna take one for the team here, and it does actually make it out. So, well, everybody but Slushy, that is. Q and TS. We see Roll-Off going in to pick up the kill on Atomic, and thankfully Ted Stickles did GTFO apropos. And actually, no! Tabs is gonna live! EHome Lucky is still alive, and okay, here's what I'm talking about, guys. How do they do this? Like, they're like, you know what? We have a Twisted Fate, and he's level 8. And oh my goodness, the Jester. Don't check the bush to oh my goodness. Tabs doesn't have the guts there to go back in the bush. Forced to go down to the turret. And you can see Lucky was just play with Nerves of Steel. He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna push this turret. I know, you know, the Jester has positioning on me, and I'm just gonna do this because I know that A, I can get out, and B, I'm gonna save Twisted Fate's life. So Tabs goes back and picked up Wriggles, kind of a defensive sort of I need to win my lane even though I'm losing item. Hex Drinkers to pick up for Olaf, a really common build just because it gives you like so much effective health. It makes your health more effective against magic damage, and it also gives you that shield, which is like getting a free ruby crystal. It's just free, and there's really no reason not to get that. So a little bit of a drink break, so thanks for bearing with me. I'm not gonna drink so this is a little rough, but should still be an awesome game. And I was like, oh man, you know, they had 2 DCs, and this is what always happens with EHome games. Like, if you guys ever like get to know them, go ahead and like add them, at least say hi. They might unadd you, but they usually do add you and give you a chance to say hi. Don't like pester them or anything. Douchebaggy. Here comes out the arrow. It's actually gonna hit the Jester. There is the teleport in from Tabs. They're actually gonna push Urgot under turret. He's gonna have to run through the entire team. It's actually gonna swap in there, and that's exactly what you didn't want to do. Max goes on a killing spree. And I had my hand over my mouth the whole time, so hopefully you guys caught what I was saying. It wasn't just like... But here comes Lucky, putting a jump on my Slushy. He pushes the R1 to get out of jail 3. He could actually go down to the ult. He will go down. Hex Drinker not saving him that time around. Here comes the ult. Will it be enough to pick up the kill? No, Talandra lives. And actually TS is going to get chunked here. But a perfect Tempest there will keep him alive. Could he actually go down here to Ted Stickles? He is behind China Annie. Perfect positioning by China Annie, not allowing them to get out or to get a Q off. There comes down the auto attack. Will this be enough? They're jumping onto Atomic. Atomic most certainly will go down. Will, oh my goodness, just barely avoids the knock-up. Is he in range of the slope? The shield goes down. Tabs is getting really low. There comes TS with 0 health. This is how EHome functions. They're just like, you know what? We have to go for it, and if it works, then it definitely works. They do so much with so little, getting CV'd, so they will have to back on out of there. China Annie's just going a little bit too at exactly the wrong moment. Could have landed a slow Lzuruha. But as is, it is 7-8 in favor of EHome. They're still down about 1,200 gold, so even though they're up 1 in the kill count. So absolutely, it's still anyone's game. The only problem is that they're down 1 turret. They've managed to come back and successfully push down both top and bottom turrets. Lzuruha and actually the Jester, of all people, getting caught out there alone, going up through there just for scouting purposes. And though they may be related to Dolphins, they were certainly related to the Jesters at the timely demise. If we go back to check out the farm tab, and I think that's exactly you know, something that we do need to check out. We see 4 and 1 Carthage. Carthage is just like the person you absolutely do not want to let get the kill. 4 and 3 on Vladimir, so Slushy is having a little bit of a harder time. That Max is apparently getting kills. I mean, sure, he actually has to go there and do it instead of just pressing R, but there are a lot of advantages to Vladimir that's, you know, Carthage does not have. People want to make it out that, oh my goodness, going in on Slushy, a perfect initiation. They're going to blow the pool, and they think that they can get the knockup. No, knockup is just out of range. They just wanted to chunk him so that, you know, he wouldn't be able to poke him down quite as much, but with the sustain that Vladimir does have, and a way of pushing into the turret, he's going to be able to get back up there. Talandra and the Jester now respawn, are joined by Atomic. Actually, Ted Stickles coming in from the side. We have 5 mid here. Lucky's just going to get caught there. He's going to get swapped. He pops his ult, and that actually allows him better position. He's still going to go down there. I'm not sure if he kind of lagged out or is just like, you know what, I'm just going to go back in an absolutely horrible position. But that's going to bring it back to, actually, no, they're still in the favor, or the kills are in favor of EHome. man, guys, this is way too close. And just keep in mind, I don't want to make it look like EHome has a handicap, because obviously, you know, both of them did just get to actually double ward of the wall just to check the positioning in there of Twisted Fate. They did just have a couple of easy, you know, not good deaths because, you know, they're back in horrible positions. But here comes in, you know, Lzuruha for the first Baron of the game. Pink is dropped to take down the wards on the outside, but Baron is approaching, you know, 2001, actually just hitting 2K, and EHome Max teleports in, goes ahead and dies. Ted Stickles is still working on Baron, but will Baron go down? There goes down the ult. Slushy is still low, and Baron will in fact go to Lzuruha. Now TS gets hit by Noxie and Corrosive Charge, and Axe from Olaf goes all the way through Lzuruha. The ult is actually off by Twisted Fate. It's going to stun Talandra, and he's going to turn on the auto attack. It's not what you want to have happen. The slow from the Asher actually hitting all 5 members for Team Lzuruha, and that's going to allow the rest of EHome to get out of there alive. Thankfully, Lucky not within range of the Noxie and Corrosive Charge. That's going to keep him from being initiated on. Sorry guys, it's like past midnight here, and my enthusiasm may be waning, but looks like EHome is going to do as much as they possibly can to keep that from happening. It's 10-9 after that unsuccessful Baron steal, and so right now, what does EHome have to do to come back? That's kind of the question I'd ask my co-caster, but alas, it's just me. I know Awinia is out exercising her adulthood, and along with many other ones of my friends. Attack Fang's working late tonight as well as Optimus having his own fabulously successful show. I think Digester's streaming and a bunch of other people are where they are, but I am here with you guys and with Lzuruha and EHome. China Annie knows the respawn timer for Dragon, and they want a position here just to either A, ward it, or B, pick it up, but there's really no one in position. Looks like TS actually working on his Infinity Edge. What do we have as the pickup here for Urgot? Actually did not go Mana Moon, just went Brutalizer into Frozen Heart. Mana Moon kind of that, you know, redheaded stepchild of all of the items, kind of like, I guess a Sark's Fervor, or let's see, a Chalice of Harmony, or what's the other item? Oh, Tiamat. Who can forget Tiamat? Massive lulls. So there's a pink ward in that brush, not gonna actually scout anything, but was one of the, I believe it was one of the last wards that China Annie had. Yeah, the last thing she has, she just threw it down, and it's gonna be able to go back and pick up a couple more. Actually, it has double gold per 5 items and ages, so I'm not sure if she's running like some crazy NV5 or gold per 10 build. But Ted Stickles is just waiting for the initiate over the wall. He barely misses China Annie, so excellent positioning there. Sorry for the jerky camera movement there. But now we're just going to see Lzuruha wait for the next wave of minions. They have a solid advantage. That solid advantage is pretty much just because they, not just because, but A, because they took Dragon, B, or Baron, B, because they had an early push down top lane that took both turrets, and C, because well, they're just that good. So we do have all 5 members up and alive and mid lane here for Lzuruha. They're just going to push in onto this turret, and they're going to force Micro out of EHome. And with the Micro they're trying to force out is an initiate that requires them to A, deal with the swap from Urgot correctly, B, CC Slushy before he gets into his pool, either with a gold card or some other method of forcing him to pool immediately so that he doesn't have the defensive options for the rest of the fight. And actually, yeah, they're going around the Dragon camp, but they know that it's taken. They're just taking a push out bottom lane. But meanwhile, here comes the push from EHome. They're just shoving mid lane as fast as possible. They know that Lzuruha is bottom. There's nothing they can do to defend the turret. That turret is just going to stall them. And meanwhile, it looks like EHome's going to get a turret of their very own. It's base race time. Neither team is turning back, and actually TS is going top lane. I'm not sure exactly why that is. He's gonna roll up there and push back the wave. He could just be trying to do as much damage as he can, but both teams are gonna push in, but there are not as many minions here for Team EHome, and they are gonna be able to take down this turret. Both teams going to get an inhibitor, but it's really about who can finish the base the fastest. If TS had stayed with his team, they'd be there easy peasy. Are we gonna see an Ash Arrow fly out before the back? No, it looks like Max is gonna be the sole survivor left. Will EHome be able to save their Nexus in time? This is the Micro, but without anything else. GG's coming out. There is an initiate, but Lzuruha is just focusing down the Nexus. Will they actually live long enough? There comes the ult. from Janna. Will the Nexus go down? It does go down. Being focused there by Digester. Lucky not doing enough damage. GG is called. And Lzuruha will take this win over Team EHome. So thanks for watching, guys. If you liked what you had or had any thoughts or interests in what was going on tonight, just make sure to leave your comment down below. Thumbs up, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.